There we go. Oh, I put it on. I managed to put it on pause or something. Right. You can see. Can you see the how it's dried now? Is it right? Can you? Jan, you okay? Painting. You don't. You've done this before, I presume, Jan. Yeah. No. Okay, John. John, have you finished painting? Because yeah. Well, if you need to keep painting, then I'll stop, because you either need to paint or watch. So no, seriously, if you're still painting, then I won't do anything. That's. But you shouldn't be putting water on. You should only be putting pigment and actually watercolor on. You shouldn't be just putting yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right. You done? Or are you still painting? Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay. I've looked. Oh, there she is. Oh, sorry. There she is. Yay, she's back. That's okay. I did say, have you frozen? And then you disappeared. Right. You've got your background wash done, yeah? Okay, good. Right, so hopefully you can see on my screen how mine's dried, and it's looking a lot brighter than when it was all wet. So I've still got my image at the back there, and I'm going to a smaller brush now. So this is a 6 round, and still got my I'm going to go I'm going to show you how to do the foreground, and I'm not drawing the every petal. This one's gone bluer than the image that you're doing. In fact, I'm going to go slightly smaller because it's only A6. So I've gone down to a 4 round, and so with these foreground flowers, I've just got stick my palette there. So I've just got, you can see how wet that pigment is to water ratio, and I'm just with the tip of the brush going to dab in. You're not? Well, I am sharing. It says I'm sharing. Let's try again. Okay, thank you, Derek. Let's try again. So can you see it again? Okay, right. I did. Thank you, Derek. Can you see it now? Derek, can you see it now? Thank you. Okay, right, so as I was saying, at the foreground here, I've just mixed some very watery pigment at the front here. I've got a 0.4 paintbrush. Just going to add a little bit more ultramarine in there to just add a little bit more contrast. So it's all very wet. Just going to dab it. I'm not worrying too much. When you looked at the image just now, it's they're very small flowers around this front bit. So I'm just going to dab it just to give an impression of flowers. There's some purpley ones in there, so just pick that straight up. My paint's still wet from earlier, so I can pick up some, and I'm going to overlay some of that, so then the paint runs in together. Got to be careful where it goes onto the yellow, because you very easily get mud. That's too much pigment, so I can go in with just a wet brush, pick it up, wipe it off on my tissue towel. Now I want to get some, I could continue that all along here, bit of yellow with the yellow flowers, same sort of thing, not enough, dab in, and so you get the impression of flowers. As this is all I'm trying to do with all this, is create the impression of flowers. Now we've got a very dark, where the tulips are very dark, so I'm going to mix some green with some ultramarine to make a dark, still very wet, and they're coming along the back here, so I'm painting wet on dry now. This is dry because I got the hairdryer out whilst you were painting just now, and I'm following the strokes of the the direction of the stems of the flowers, but just at the foreground here, and I'm looking at those negative shapes that we did earlier. So that this is a first glaze, and I've got a purpley area here. Now John asked about reds earlier. I'm going to drop some reds in there, maybe at this stage, maybe later. They're not very dark at the moment, so I might mix up a little bit more sage green, a bit more ultramarine, just a bit darker. Don't want to go too dark at this stage, but I can just wear it. So I'm now going wet on wet because this is still wet, but I've added a bit more. So I'm not only going where I've just painted, but it's going to need a couple of glazes, so we're practicing what we did last time, and I want to create round the back here the negative. You've got trees and around the back of the flowers, so I can start. I don't like that purple colour, I'm just going to paint over it. So I'm starting by putting, like we saw in the examples, if I put a really dark colour around that back of that yellow, you can see that those flowers are going to start coming out. Get the idea. I would continue with that. Now for John, I've got very nice red that Tilly gave me. I can't remember the colour. She's run away. Sorry? Thank you. And so now tulips are very roughly sort of a bulb shape, yeah? So if we do it with a brush, we sort of want that sort of a shape, or that sort of shape, yeah? We're not roughly, maybe a bit of a flowery effect on the top. So I'm still only half of my brush, yeah? Can you see that? So I'm going really small, so I just want to do half a dash with the top of there. Now I'm going to change my red a bit more on the top, so now I'm getting a two-tone effect on my reds. Now you see how that's already starting to pop out, and I've got a bit of purple over it, a bit more over here. Don't want too many, it's going to stand out. With the yellows I can do the same thing. I'll use the other one, yellow. And now just dabbing, just with the whole stroke. Do some more over the yellow, and it can merge together because quite often tulips, and I can continue along. So that's how you would let the colours run and then go back on your layers. So you would continue along, keep working it. Okay, is that enough to get you going, do you think? Yes? Helen? Yes? No? Yes? Smile at me, Helen? Yes, maybe? Question? Yeah? Okay, right, I'm going to stop the share. Okay, go back to your pictures, and then it's back to you to continue going. Yes, Derek? I'm not going to do anything at the back. I'm just going to leave it all wish-washy, because then you'll get aerial perspective. I'm only going to work on the flower bed at the foreground, And just as I was just doing, just putting a little bit of dark in the background to bring everything forward. So can you see me in your square, Derek? Right. So if you look at me, can you see me? Yeah. So if you look at this area here, I've not done anything here. But what I was just doing, I was just adding some darker pigment on this back bit to make these yellow flowers come forward, yeah? But no detail there, just some dark pigment, and then work up these flowers in the front and on this right hand side and the front. Yeah? Okie dokie, good. Smaller brush, John, not small brush. How small? Small? How big's your paper? How big's your paper? So it'll be about A5-ish then. It's A5. If you halve and halve, it's A5. A4 maybe getting a bit small. A 4 round maybe getting a bit small. Because the smaller you go, the more you'll fiddle. That's the problem. Yeah, that's all I'm concerned of. You're welcome to fiddle once you've got the techniques worked out. What I didn't say is we've got 10 minutes now and then we'll have to finish his homework. Sorry guys. 3-minute warning. Hello. You done, Paul? You finished? Fair enough. Degar's just come in to say, it's gone 9 o'clock. What you doing? I've just told her we've got to run over late. We started late. Well, she hasn't been in and out the cat flap today, has she? Last minute. No, not yet. Soon. Soon. Oh, yes. Do. It's Auntie Sue. It's Auntie Sue. Please. What's the matter? Oh. Boom. Boom. Oh, just hold on. It's apparently time to go OUT. Oh, how was that? How have you got on? I don't imagine you've finished. Going okay? Yeah. That's how it goes. I would leave it to dry and then maybe come back and do another glaze or two on top, or even maybe do some more. You can, if you've got a spray for your ironing, not with starch in it preferably, but with water, you could, or like this, you could re-spritz it and then do a more wet on wet. Yeah, so you can wet it again and drop some more wet on wet. So although you've already got paint on it, you could just spritz it, you can do all sorts of mad things, really. Just have some fun. I mean, if it doesn't work, you're in class. You're not likely to sell it for £1 million with your first attempt. Or even your set. Oh, I'm sorry, Derek. Hate to. I don't leave my socks. Just wait a minute. Sorry, dog's after the socks. Very nice, Derek. Very good. Yes. Excellent. Good. That's a. Well, there you go. um, yeah. Now I've lost my train of thought again. Not doing well today. I did whilst you were painting. I've grabbed this. This is an A6, A5 paint on grey. It's a grey pad. Oh, I've been drawing on it. So this is so the Pat Sutherland is you can use it's multimedia. You can paint, draw, all sorts on it. There's 30 sheets. It cost me £4.40 at my local art supplies. Jan Goslings. Oh, John, yeah, you're local as well, and Helen Goslings. £4.40. Really good. I've used it for acrylics. This is gel pen. It was snowing, so pencil, all sorts. So it's quite good for something different. So if you're inspired by Pat Sutherland's, it's just down the road. So you might want to have a play as well, something different. So I just grabbed that. Any final questions before we finish today? No. So next week is quite complex because we're doing water and ornaments and statues. It can be frustrating because there's 1,001 rules, and I will hold my hands up because I always forget them and I still do water wrong. So this is after a very long time of painting. So be patient with yourself, be kind to yourself. And with everything that we're doing, be kind to yourself, be patient. You know, it's like running a marathon or anything else you're doing that you learn. You can't do it at the first attempt. You know, you have to keep on practicing. You know, if you're going to do the marathon, you wouldn't, I mean, it's very difficult at the moment. You can't just go out and do the London Marathon. You have to do all your training, get up and go out and every morning. Same with drawing, same with painting. So you've got to keep practicing. Water next week is difficult, I will say right up front. It's difficult even for experienced artists, and it's one of those very high failure rates with water. So, but we are doing statues and ornaments as well. So I've got on the slides. There are a lot of rules of how to be successful and how to get your water right. So I would suggest you print out the slides or have them for reference, download them, so keep them, just to pre-warn you. That said, it's all good practice. Indeed. Any final questions? No? Nope. Good. How are your lambs, Helen? Good. Oh, good. Well, lovely to have you with us. Good. Right. Have a nice rest of the evening, everybody. I will see you next week. And I look forward to seeing your finished spring paintings on the group. Okay. Bye. Bye. Cauliflowers are good. You can make it into flowers. That's fine. I've got